So here's part 2 of anxiety, ADHD, and nervous system regulation. We are going to talk about the word that made my doctor call me out as this mental health therapist of over 20 years who have diagnosed numerous people with ADHD. The word that I kept using was overstimulated. I'm overstimulated. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to see it. Everything's overstimulating. I just want calm. I just want quiet. Everything is loud and I'm crashing out. This was the language that I used as I'm tearing up in my session with her. She's a psychiatrist. And she says to me, Victoria, you keep using the word overstimulated. Have you been tested for ADHD? I looked at her like, you do know I'm a whole therapist and I be diagnosing people with ADHD, and I think I would have known if I had I am so high functioning and such a high performer. I don't forget things. I'm not impulsive. I'm not. But now that you bring it to my attention, I might need to think on that. So I'll say this: it does not look the same in adults as it does in children. Most of the diagnosing I've done has been of children. Children, oh yes, we see it. They're not following directions. They are flipping over desks in the classroom. They're just bouncing from wall to wall. They can't sit still. They're fidgeting. They are not completing classwork, completing tasks. So those are the things we know when it comes to what it looks like in a child. What it looks like in an adult could be some of those same things, minus the flipping over desk and bouncing wall to wall. For us, it may look like anxious energy, quite frankly. It may look like anxiety, but it also, the overstimulation piece is you got to think about sensory. And ADHD is having an active brain. You're frequently processing information at a rapid speed. And that leads to crash outs, exhaustion, feeling depleted. So it can also look like bipolar, where you got this high, I'm feeling good, dopamine, and then all of a sudden you get this crash and you're like, I don't want to do anything. And so now that feels like depression. So this is why it's so commonly misdiagnosed. But overstimulation essentially is a sensory thing. Because your brain is processing so much, you're hearing words, you're hearing conversations, sounds, even lighting. All these things are important. Your environment is important. I started, once I took the assessment screening, scored very high, not in a good way. And what got me, I was like, impulsivity, that's not me. Well, when I think about how I'm quick to make a decision or sign up for things, yeah, I'll do it. Yeah, let's go. And then the day of, it's like, hell no, I don't want that. I ain't feeling it today. I could see it in those moments where I'm like, if I'm on a high and I'm feeling good, the dopamine is given, yes, let's do it. And then you catch me on another day, it's like, I signed up for that. I don't have the bandwidth for that. My brain tired. It also looks like you're not sleeping. Yeah, you're not sleeping. You think you're asleep, that brain's still going, especially if you right before bed, you were doom scrolling. Your mind is still processing everything you looked at. So you might have very vivid dreams, and that does not create restful sleep. That will have you waking up feeling like, I want to go back to sleep. So those are just some things to consider. So when I say overstimulation, I just mean all the things environmentally that can affect you. If you want to learn more, link in my bio. I wrote a whole book about this. Overstimulation is a first aid kit for adult ADHD. And I also created a journal that is really specific to learning how to calm the mind and you being self-aware of your environment and the things that trigger your body to feel certain ways that might put you in that state of fight or flight that feels like anxiety, but really you're just overwhelmed. Make sense? If it doesn't, DM me. Comment, ask your question. Check the link in the bio for resources. Part 3 coming up.